Hello, welcome to Ofoy TV platform. My name is Ekia, or you can call me Ekia Ofoy. This platform is where we share content about diversity visa program and then other relevant immigrant visa application or non-immigrant visa application process to America. Basically, anything that has to do with immigrating to America. But today we are going to talk about the diversity visa lottery, the Visa Bulletin, as we saw it this year, that the cutoff point left several people in some regions out. And some of you have been asking, like, what happened? How is this even possible, right? So I'm here to explain this to you. Now, before we go on to that explanation, please take a moment to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure that you have shared this video with your friends and families. Anybody who you feel this video could benefit, please don't hesitate to share this video with them. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the discrepancy that we saw in the Visa Bulletin, whether you're somebody who was directly affected by it or you're somebody who is just curious as to how is this thing even possible, so that whenever you see something like that, at least you have an idea what went on or what you think went wrong. The Visa Bulletin that was published in the month of August, which was supposed to cover the cutoff point for September, left several folks in two regions out. And I'm talking about Asia region and Europe region. There were applicants from these countries, or there are selectees from these countries who were really affected by this. The cutoff point from the August Visa Bulletin was 21,000. But we know that the highest case number in Asia region was somewhere around 26,000 ranges, right? And then the cutoff point for the Visa Bulletin for Europe was 32,000 on the August Visa Bulletin. But then the highest case number for Europe was somewhere around 35,000. So that means that people whose case numbers were higher than 32,000 from Europe region were left out high and dry. And then people from Asia region whose cutoff point were above 21,000 were left out high and dry. And some of you guys have been asking, like, how is this even possible that, some people were left out on the Visa Bulletin? So I decided to do some research to see if I can find some information that can tell me something about this, that has this even ever happened before, and so that we will know, like, how that happened or how that was dealt with at that time, right? So I went into research trying to get some information to see, the trends and patterns of the Visa Bulletin and see how it worked out. So when I compiled data for the Visa Bulletin, I did for over the course of 9 years, which covers DV 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23, 9 years. We cannot count 2024 because we have not started. So over the course of 9 years, the Visa Bulletin, I was just looking at studying the trend to see, like, has this even ever happened before, that there are people whose case numbers were not covered within the fiscal year. All right. Now we know that DV 2023 fiscal year is a little different because it looks like at the moment we haven't reached the end of the fiscal year, but the number of cases that have been scheduled, that have been issued, that are in AP, that are in administrative processing, if all of them were to get approved, we would have exhausted the whole number of visas that were available for DV lottery winners, right? Basically, they're over, over 55,000 visas that will be issued if all the people who have been scheduled and yet to attend the interview, and then the people who have attended and they were put in 221G, those who are in AP, those who have been who are even yet to be scheduled, if all of them were to get their visas approved, then we wouldn't even have enough of the 55,000 visas. We would have completely exhausted them. So this year is a little bit different. But then when I look over the course of 9 years, the trend that I saw, what was interesting and a little bit comparable to what is happening now was DV 2018. DV 2018, the highest case number in AF region was somewhere around 52,000. The highest case number in AS, which is Asia region, was around 13,000. The highest case number in Europe region was around 39,000. The highest case number in North America region was 9. The highest case number in Oceania region was 2,500 range. And then the highest case number in South America and the Caribbean region was around 2,400 range. What makes the Visa Bulletin interesting was that the Visa Bulletin for July, which gives the cutoff point for cases that were going to be current in the month of August. Guys, as you already know, that the Visa Bulletin is published, the month that is published for, the cutoff point will be applicable to the next month, right? So the Visa Bulletin for July 2018 was for cases that was going to be current in the month of August. Well, what happened was that there was an interesting thing that happened with the African region. African region in July, the cutoff point showed that all cases were current. All cases were current in the AF region. The Visa Bulletin that was published in July 2018, all cases in AF region was all current. All right, Asia was also all current. Well, when the next Visa Bulletin was published in August, something happened. They rolled back the Visa Bulletin cutoff point and brought it back to 39,500. Wait, how come you said all the cases are current in the month of in July? The Visa Bulletin for July says that all the cases in AF region was current. Remember, the highest case number was around 52,000. And then the next month, when they published the Visa Bulletin that was going to be applicable for, the month of September, they rolled it back and brought the cutoff point to 39,500. This was unbelievable. So imagine if your case number was 43,000, you were supposed to be current in August, and then now they bring the next Visa Bulletin, you are out. They've kicked you out. So what happened to some of the people, who were outside of this range? This is what happened. So because the Visa Bulletin of July was published, for August, of course, some of the cases which were higher than, 50,000, somewhere closer to 52,000, were scheduled for interview in the month of August. There were several case numbers because remember, August, they were all supposed to be current in the month of August. The Visa Bulletin for July said that all cases in Africa were current. So there were cases that were scheduled in July. They attended their interview in August. Their case numbers were above 40,000, above 30,000. They were all supposed to be current, right? Well, when the next Visa Bulletin was published and it was pulled back, and now the cutoff point, instead of it being all current, it was pulled back to 39,500. Some of the embassies continued and issued visa for some of the cases that had already been scheduled. Some of the embassies, not all of the embassies. Some of the embassies did not issue visas for some of the cases that were no longer current in September. I hope you understand, right? So this means that the ones who were lucky to get scheduled for interview, in spite of the Visa Bulletin cutoff point in September, showing that those the highest case number that had visa available for was 39,500. Please, I'm talking about AF region. And the Visa Bulletin for August. Visa Bulletin for August was published, which was going to be applicable to September. When it was published, some of the people who were previously current. I'm talking about those over 39,500. Some of them were able to get their interview, but some of them did not get an interview. They were scheduled, but the interview did not take place. All right, so it's based on this that I want to conclude right now that if your case number falls outside of the Visa Bulletin and you're from Europe region, and I'm talking about those whose case numbers are above 32,000, then unfortunately you're not going to get the opportunity to even go for an interview. So guys, this is a weird thing. It is not common, but it does happen, and it's unfortunate that this happened. And it looks like there's more education and people are now beginning to understand like this whole DV lottery process. So more people are working on their cases. Okay, of course, with social media there's increased education from platforms such as Wafoi TV and many others, and so people are seeing that I win the lottery, I am supposed to work on my case. So now more of the visas are taken up, and so if more of the people are working on their cases and there are less visas available, then the Visa Bulletin is going to react based on the number of visas that are available. All right, so I'm sorry, this is the sad news that I had to deliver to you guys, but this is just my opinion. If there's any new information that comes in that will alter my opinion right now, I will come in and update that information. Okay, but based on what I know right now, I would say that if your case number is outside of the cutoff point based on the last Visa Bulletin, then unfortunately you will not even get an interview. But guys, this was something that I wanted to share with you about the Visa Bulletin. This should also let you guys know that when you win the DV lottery, you should process your case ASAP. You should work on it as soon as possible. So imagine if your case number was lower, but then you have delayed and now you can't even get an interview. Imagine how sad that's going to be. When you win the lottery, work on your case as soon as possible so that you don't have to deal with this kind of distress, this kind of disappointment. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow my Facebook page Wafoi TV on all social media platforms. I love you guys. If you have questions, put them down in the comment section below and I will answer them to the best of my ability. I love you guys. God be with you, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye bye.